All right, so we talked about how important it is to do a home inspection from a buyer's perspective. Let's talk about, as promised, what you need to do as a seller. My name is Andrew. Been selling real estate for about 15 years. I'm in the Tampa Bay area. So as a seller, your main concern should not be cleaning the house, making sure it's perfectly clean. The inspector is not there to check that. The inspector is there to check the major systems of the house, your plumbing, your HVAC, your roof, your foundation, things like that. One of the main things I see, because like I said, I go to every single inspection, a lot of times sellers will leave things in front of outlets, and the inspector is not going to move your personal items to access an outlet. So I've seen before where inspectors have had to come back because sellers have left things in such a way that the inspector cannot access. The main thing are outlets. I've seen garages full before, stuff piled up in front of the service panel. Keep in mind, the inspector is going to remove the cover from the service panel and check all the wiring, make sure there's no double taps, things like that. So the main thing that you want to make sure you do is you want to make sure that things are out of the way so that the inspector can access those outlets. The service panel, like I said, in the garage, if it's in the garage or wherever it is, make it easy for them to get to where they need to go. As far as cleanliness goes, I would just do like a broom swept. You can mop if you want, but it doesn't have to be perfect, clean condition. If you want to do that, save that for the walkthrough right before closing. But that's the main thing. And here's a note for the buyer's agents. Don't tell the listing agent, hey, the inspection is on this day at this time. Be polite and ask the listing agent, hey, does this time work for your sellers? Because nothing's more annoying than, hey, the inspection's on Thursday at 3 p.m. And then as a listing agent, you have to contact the seller and be like, does that work? Well, sometimes sellers, they work from home or they pick up their kids at that time or something. So always ask first before you just set up an inspection. But other than that, yeah, as a seller, pretty simple. Just make sure that things are out of the way. And, I would also say, and one more note, your air filter for your HVAC, if that's dirty, go ahead and change that out. That's a big thing that a lot of people don't change. And home inspectors, when they see an air filter, it looks like it hasn't been changed in several years. That's not going to go well when they're relaying their findings to the buyer. That shows that the HVAC system has not been taken care of. But other things like that, let the inspector do their job. I would say do not hang out there. Matter of fact, leave for a few hours. The buyer's agent will contact the listing agent when the inspection is done, and then you can go home. But do not hang out there because it's kind of annoying, honestly, if you're a buyer and you're really seeing that house for the first time, because you got to think this is the first time that the buyer has really been there when it wasn't a showing that was like 15 minutes or so. They're going to be there for a few hours. They're going to be thinking about where their furniture is going to go, things like that. Not saying that they don't want to talk to you, but they want to envision themselves in the house, okay? That's their time. They're paying the inspector for a few hours of their time. Give them their time. If you're breathing down their neck or hanging out, they're not going to be able to speak freely with their agent or the inspector. So just give them their time. Same thing with listing agents. If you want to go to the inspection, that's fine, but don't hang out in the kitchen, just go in your car or something. give the buyer's agent, their space so that they can do their thing. Then you can go back to the house. Listing agents, you can call your clients, kind of give them an overview. Like I said with the buyers, like, you know, you can show, if you can't make it to the inspection as a buyer, as a listing agent, show up near the end, have the buyer's agent let you know, hey, let me know when you're almost done. Show up, and you know, you can listen to the inspector go over their findings so you can relay that to the sellers. But yeah, that's a big thing. Give the buyers their time to soak it in. This is going to be their home, and like I said, they're paying for that time.